Well, if you like eggplant, then you know how difficult it can be just getting it prepared and getting it just right. Well, our next guest says you will not have a problem at his place because he's got a surefire way for you to enjoy it at his restaurant or prepare it at home. Joining me now in the Stone Creek Kitchen is Executive Chef Christopher from SASSI Restaurant in Scottsdale. It's good to have you back on the show, my friend.
Always great to be here. Thank you.
We've had a little discussion about eggplant.
Yes, and I understand you're not the biggest fan.
I have not found an eggplant that I've really bonded with quite yet.
Well, hopefully after today.
But you said,
yes.
This has a ringing endorsement from your patrons who you took it off the menu and then they said, no, we come here for that.
Absolutely.
So let's get going with some of the basics.
Let's get going. Well, first thing what we're going to do, the recipe is on the ABC 15 website.
Perfect.
What we're going to do is we're going to cut our eggplant. This recipe will be the recipe calls for 2 eggplants roughly peeled. And what I mean by roughly peeled, we want to leave some of the skin on because it has some great texture.
And let me ask you this, when I'm at the grocery store, how do I find an eggplant that will work well? Or what am I looking for?
They're all, well, you want it blemish free.
Okay.
And no stickers. I'm sorry about that.
I like stickers. I think it's extra.
My kids like peeling them off. But blemish free, you want it to be firm. You don't want, and you want it to be heavy for its size.
Heavy, firm,
yes.
Okay, and blemish free. Got it.
Yes, so we're gonna, like I said, roughly peel it because some of that skin is gonna be lend to some great texture.
Okay.
And then we are just going to, and these larger ones that you find at the grocery store are roughly a pound a piece.
Oh, okay.
So you can really just go 1 large eggplant. Don't worry about the recipe how it says 1 pound. So we're gonna slice them fairly thin and we're going to dice them.
We were talking and you said, do you ever do the veggie burgers? And I said, absolutely. The boys eat them all the time. And he's like, yeah, that's not going to happen anymore.
Yep, you'll never buy another frozen veggie burger again once you make these.
I mean, we go through Boca Burgers like they're water at our house.
Oh, well these and
we're not vegetarians.
Well, and the great thing is your kids will be able to help you make these as well and be more of a part of it. So what we would do after we dice this up, toss it in a bowl with some olive oil, salt and pepper, roast it in the oven until it comes out looking like this. Nice and caramelized, and you see we do have some pieces of the skin on there as well. I'm going to move this aside.
I'll take it for you.
Thank you.
Remember I told you I was going to be your soup?
Absolutely.
I wasn't kidding.
Okay, so very, very simple recipe. This is 2 of those eggplants that have been peeled and roasted. Toss those right in. And here we have...
This is for a bigger
Yes,
recipe?
well, I mean, make a big batch and you can freeze them, you can hold them. No sense in making them twice a week when you can make them once a week.
Okay.
Here we have 2 cups of fresh breadcrumbs. What I mean by fresh breadcrumbs, you take fresh bread, not the dry, stale bread, take some of the crust off, put it in the Robocoup or your food processor. Some coarse, big pieces in there are also great for the texture as well. So for every pound or every 1 large eggplant, 1 cup of fresh breadcrumbs.
All right.
1/4 cup of pine nuts.
Now that's
toasted.
where you had me. I'm very intrigued because I love the flavor of pine nuts. I make a pasta with pine nuts.
Oh, this is great. The one thing you do want to do is toast them, but make sure don't go answer the phone after you put them in the oven because they'll burn on you like that.
Like
just
2 seconds.
Wait there just for a quick second. Here we have a 1/4 cup of currants, which are, it's like a small berry that ends up tasting a lot like a raisin. So this is what kind of makes it the Sicilian style, pretty much. This is what turns it into that Sicilian style that has the pine nuts and the raisins. You have it nice and sweet and savory. Here we're adding 1/2 cup of pecorino cheese.
Okay.
Next, we are going to add some mint. I do need my cutting board back. Some fresh mint and fresh parsley.
Cut that up because I have a quick question about the currants. I don't have a sophisticated palate, but it really tastes like a raisin to me.
They certainly do.
If we didn't have currants, would we be fine?
Absolutely,
with the raisins?
Absolutely. Or even craisins or whatever little dried little fruit you have around there. It lends a nice little texture and also a little bit of sweetness that you won't be expecting.
Okay.
So we have mint and parsley.
The mint thing is throwing me off a little bit.
I'm telling you, it's again all over southern Italy. You'll see that little combination with mint, and it's wonderful. I used to be one of those people who only thought that mint was for toothpaste.
Right.
But when you start, but when you start eating Thai food and you see what it can lend to a savory dish, it's all of a sudden it's like magic, really. We have our mint and parsley. We're going to add 3 eggs.
And are we doing anything fun? Oh, you're good.
No,
are we doing anything fun with the eggs?
We're going to beat them up. Beat them up just a little bit. Just lightly.
Now, this is going to go on in the end after we start to build everything?
Correct. We'll roll them in the dry breadcrumbs at the end.
Okay, so then let's kind of blend this up. I want all of these flavors to kind of ooze together. And then
salt and pepper.
We'll put a little salt, we'll put a little pepper. And again, this recipe is on our website. We're going to continue this recipe here in the next segment.
Yes.
Do you need this?
No.
No, you're good. Okay.
And then we'll just mix it up.
We'll mix it up. Put me to work. I told you I'm happy to do that.